Hello and welcome back to Sumo Cooks. Today we are going to make some tomato basil bread. Let's get started. In a mixing bowl, we're going to have some bread flour, to which we're going to add some salt, some sugar, and just 1 teaspoon of yeast. And then some basil for obvious reasons. Next, I've got some tomato paste here, and I'm just going to put in a tablespoon or 2 of water into this, and I'll just mix it together so it just thins out a little, and it becomes easier to mix into the dough later. Our dry ingredients here need to be combined a little before we put water into them, so I'm just going to turn my mixer on to the low speed and just combine these. And into the water, we're going to put in our earlier thinned down tomato paste, and we're going to mix this into our water, because this way we ensure that the tomato paste is thoroughly incorporated into the dough. There's not a portion of the dough where it's not tomatoey. So we're going to dump the entire water into our dry ingredients, and we're just going to begin to combine this. And when we see that it needs a little bit more water, we're going to stop and add a little bit more water. You are the boss of this, so when you see that it needs something, you feel free to add it. And we're going to combine this until it just comes together. We're not going to overmix this. And it's going to be a very, very sticky dough. And you're going to get it out of there. You're going to oil your bowl and make sure that the entire dough is coated in that oil. We're going to cover this, and this will rise for a pretty long time. I let mine rise for about 6 hours because we don't have all that yeast in here. So when it comes out, it'll be bubbly and it'll be very sticky, but that's what we expected. So we're going to turn this out onto a well-floured surface. And we're just going to pat it out like we always do with these breads. We don't want to pat it out too much. We don't want to force the air out of it, but we do want it enough that we can fold it and make our loaf. So once we've accomplished the shape that we want, we're just going to make sure all of our seams are sealed so it doesn't open up while it's rising and baking. I'm just going to fold those seams under so they don't pop out. And then I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to let this sit for about another half hour or 15 minutes, or until it's just starting to rise once again. So while this is rising, our cast iron skillet has been preheating, and once it's done, we're going to rub some olive oil in there and place our loaf in it. Next, we're going to take a sharp blade or a lame like I have here. It's a special tool for making cuts on top of the loaves for the designs that you want. I'm just doing a simple cross, and I'll put the lid on top when that's done, and this will go into a preheated oven. And this will bake for about 40 minutes covered. I didn't want to uncover this because I find that the crust gets a little too hard. So that's done there, and it looks absolutely spectacular, and you should have been there to smell this. Oh my goodness, the whole place smelled like tomato basil. It was absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to cut into this after I've let this cool for about 40 minutes because it will continue to cook on the inside. And because of the tomato, this does have a lot more moisture. So as you can see, it's a beautiful, lovely, bubbly bread, and it goes with so many different things. So please try this out. Let us know what you think, and thank you so much for watching.